made it home, I dug her out, then I made her one of my aces. Marijuana fragrance, this tree here is outrageous. Want me to play in your city? Send an email to my agent.
With only 85 guys on the roster heading into opening day, the Marlins had to make some sort of move, or else they weren't going to be able to trade players, so they got to sign some guys. But the problem is, I'd love to sign a guy like Dan Uggla. Could be a utility infielder, really be a fifth infielder, but we can't afford him. So what are we going to do? We got guys off waivers. Esmil Rogers, Rajai Davis, a few others, Mike Montgomery, Marcell Ozuna, former Marlin. So we claim 5 guys, and we're back up to 90. Crisis averted there. We can finally make some more moves. We are allowed to claim guys, even though we are over the salary cap. Or not the salary cap. We're over our budget expenses. So anyway, we're heading into this game against the New York Mets with a 7-4 record. And it's going to be a battle of the aces. David Price versus Matt Harvey. Should be a very good game. Harvey started the All-Star game for the Mets this past season, and Price was the 2012 AL Cy Young Award winner. So anyway, should be a very, very good game. Division rivalry. First game of Season 4 for this franchise. Now, I'm pretty sure, I can't remember, I think Rajai Davis is the only guy that we claimed that made the Major League roster. I think everyone else was sent down to AAA because they just were not needed. But I think maybe Esmil Rogers made the team in the bullpen. I saw him pitch actually in real life earlier this year when he faced off against the Red Sox at Fenway. He was pretty good. Yeah, he was really impressive actually. But either way, so anyway, going up against the Mets as I mentioned. And we fill out a roster, and I'm glad we got Marcell Ozuna back, because Ozuna has really played well this year for the Marlins in real life, or at least he started out well. I haven't been following too much lately, but I can look up on his stats on my phone right now. Anyway, this is the first game that I have ever using David Price and MLB 13 the show, so it should be very exciting. You can see the Mets lineup right there. Not too impressive. I mean, David Wright hit 419 to start out the year. That's very scary, but either way, top one here, Starlin Castro up, and he's going to line this one into deep left center field. That is going to a one-hop up against the wall. So we're going to get things started with a leadoff double for Starlin Castro. Got a runner in scoring position and a chance to maybe get an early lead, which when you're facing a guy like Matt Harvey, sometimes the best thing you can do is jump on him early. But either way, here's Donovan Solano up. Solano is going to ground this one to the third baseman. We will move the runner up to third base, so Solano gets the job done. He was just looking to move him over to third base with less than 2 outs. So now we get the meat of our lineup up with one of our fastest players on third base. Here's Giancarlo Stanton. He will take this slider away. It is going to be a wild pitch. Castro's coming home, and they throw him out at the plate. So an opportunity wasted right there, as Cash will be thrown out. Now later in the at-bat for Stanton, Stanton's going to hit the hanging curveball right there into left center field. Not left center field. Into left field. And that would have scored Castro. So bad base running mistake right there by Starlin Castro and the Miami Marlins. Here's Logan Morrison up later in the inning. 0-1 count. Morrison's going to hit this one to left field. That is going to be caught by the left fielder. So that will retire the side. Harvey escapes the inning. And right now I just looked up Marcell Ozuna's stats. He is down to 269 batting as of right now. This is Saturday night. So cooled off a little bit. He was hitting 320 at one point earlier, but either way, here's Rob Brantley up. Brantley's going to hit this one into left center field. That is going to roll all the way to the wall, fielded by Tim Wheeler, who will fire into the cutoff man. Brantley will hold up at second, but it's a double for Rob Brantley, and we get a runner in scoring position once again. Hopefully we can capitalize here. David Price is going to come up and sacrifice bunt Brantley over to third. He'll get that one down cleanly, and the throw is high. A terrible throw by David Wright. Here comes the runner home. He will score. Price moves up to second, and the Marlins are on top 1-0 after that play. David Wright, usually very sure-handed in the field, but just, I don't know, cost the error right there. Now Starlin Castro's up. Castro is going to hit this one into deep right field. Right fielder is over. He will make the play. Price is tagging and going to third. He's going to get in there safely. David Price, the pitcher, showing some base running ability right there. Nice heads-up play. So he gets to third base now with just 1 out in the inning. Chance to drive him home. Donovan Solano up next. Solano is going to end up hitting this one to the second baseman, who will make a nice play to get the out at first, but Price comes home and scores. So we take a 2-0 lead here on the Mets. And with Price on the mound, that may be all we need. We'll see what happens, but either way, Giancarlo Stanton up top 3. Matt Harvey still on the mount here, and Stanton's going to ground out to right at third. He makes up for his play right here, although to really make up for it, he's going to have to drive in some runs later in the game. But either way, 2-0 lead for the Marlins as we enter the bottom of the 5th inning. Price still on the mound here, 1-1 count. Tim Wheeler, the former Marlins, is going to ground that one down the right field line for a base hit. Stanton over the field will fire it into second base, and we will hold Wheeler to a single, but that's going to be a leadoff single for the New York Mets center fielder. Bottom of the lineup up here, though, here is, I believe, David Dahl, maybe. Grounded to Solano, he'll flip to second for one, but Castro was off the bag. A bad throw by Solano dragged Castro off the bag, and we could not flip it the first in time, so no outs are recorded on the play. Now, later in the inning, here is, I believe, Daniel Murphy, I think. He's going to hit that to right field. Stanton is going to come up throwing. The play at the plate is in time, and we get the runner. Tim Wheeler is gunned out at home plate, and Giancarlo Stanton saves a run right there. So now with 2 outs in the inning, here is Ruben Tejada, who will line this one just past the diving Miguel Sano at third base. That's going to score a run. And now the Mets have cut the lead in half, 2-1, after Ruben Tejada's RBI single just past the diving glove of Miguel Sano. Later in the inning, here's David Wright up, that man we talked about earlier. 1-2 count. He's going to strike out swinging on the changeup outside. Price gets out of the inning. He's gone 5 strong now so far, only allowing that 1 run. And after 5, it is going to be 2-1. Marlins are on top. So now skipping ahead here, Joe Blanton will come in and pitch for the Mets. And Matt Harvey was surprisingly pulled after, I believe, only 5 innings, allowing 2 runs. He pitched pretty fine, except for that 1 inning. I don't know what it was, but top 6, here's Giancarlo Stanton up. Look at that batter's eye. I mean, he just crushes this high pitch to deep left field. He really skied that one and is going to just get over the fence for a home run. Like I said, he hit that one a mile high, and it just had the distance to get over of the fences at Citi Field. So the Marlins extend their lead down to 3-1. You knew when Joe Blanton was going to come and things were going to go bad, all right? I mean, come on, Mets fans. Oh well. Joe Blanton, I don't know why he's on this team. I just feel like there are better options out there, but that's my personal opinion. I don't think Joe Blanton's a very good pitcher. And that home run leads me to, or I guess is evidence of that. But either way, 1-1 count here to Logan Morrison. Morrison's going to hit this one to second base. That's going to be fielded by Murphy. He'll fire to first, and that will retire the side. So we only get the 1 run in the inning. Blanton doesn't do too bad, but he's still pitching here. Top 7, Sano up at 2 outs, and Sano absolutely crushes this pitch deep and gone into the bleachers at Citi Field in left field. Just Miguel Sano, absolute pure power. A bit of a rough start for him this year. I think he's hitting maybe below the Mendoza line, although I think he's gotten that up recently. But still, you know, hopefully he can turn it around. He had such a good season last year, playing, honestly, in, you know, only partial playing time for the second half of the season. So, you know, he was crazy. But David Price here up top 7, and man, should I have pinched hit him there? It was 4-1. I had a runner on second, but I really wanted to stretch out Price a little bit. He would have only gone 6 innings at that point. Here it's bottom 7, runner on first with 2 strikes. And Price is going to end up getting Daniel Murphy to ground out to the shortstop. So he gets out of the 7th inning. He pitched a very impressive 7 innings so far. And with a 3-run lead, it looks like it would be a good time to turn it over to our bullpen. So we'll see what happens. Neftali Feliz will come in now for the New York Mets to pitch the top of the 8th. He's had a very impressive start to his season through 8 innings, only allowing, I believe, 2 runs so far. Starlin Castro up. Castro's going to line that one over David Wright's head at third. So Castro gets on base, and the Marlins are going to try and get some insurance runs here, maybe save some of our key bullpen guys for a later date. But I don't know. Donovan Solano up next, 0-1 count. Castro is stealing. Feliz has a very slow wind-up or stretch motion, and Castro gets in there, even though it was a very nice throw by the catcher. I don't think Travis d'Arnaud was catching today, so I'm not really sure who was catching for them. But either way, Logan Morrison up here, 0-2 count. 2 outs now in the inning. Castro's going for third, and Morrison to deep left center field. That is a no-doubt home run off of Neftali Feliz, and that is Travis d'Arnaud catching. I was mistaken. So no Logan Morrison goes way deep to left center field, the second no-doubt home run of the game for the Marlins, and we extend our lead now to 6-1, and this game looks all but over. It'll be very hard for the Mets offense to put up 5 runs in just a couple of innings, but either way, Puig's going to strike out on that slider down and away, it looks like, so that's going to retire the side, and now we're going to head into the bottom of the 8th inning here. David Price still in the mound, surprisingly gets the first 2 outs of the inning. But then Ike Davis hits at the deep right field, and then it's going to doink off of the foul pole. So Ike Davis gets a solo home run, and the Mets now cut the lead to 6-2. So maybe a good time to take Price out right now. He's gone 7 2/3. Good start for him, but I think it's time to turn it over to the bullpen. Great hit, though, by Ike Davis. You know, scorching line drive down the right field line. Just stays fair. I mean, literally off the foul pole. That was a line drive, too. That was pretty crazy, but Ike Davis, solo home run. And he's filled out his potential to a certain degree in this franchise. I know he struggled a lot in real life this season, but alright, so we leave Price in, and this is where things start to go bad for the Marlins. So Travis d'Arnaud gets on base right there with a single, and of course the little thing where I can't throw him out at first. Kind of ridiculous, but either way, anyway, so here is the next batter with 2 outs, 0-2 count. He hits that to deep right field. Stanton going back, and that is going to end up getting over his head. Giancarlo Stanton is not very fast, and he could not get back there quick enough to make the catch. Now the runner's being waved around. The relay is not in time, and a run scores. It's 6-3. And here is where my stupid little ignorance is going to come and kill me, because next up is Tim Wheeler. Wheeler, with 2 men on, is going to end up hitting that one to first base. Morrison is going to deflect off of him, and we're not going to be able to get Wheeler in time. Great job of Price by getting over there in time, but the throw is just not there quite in time. Now, here's the next batter, and this is what I mentioned. A 3-run home run. Why did I leave Price in the game? I don't even know what I was thinking at this point. I know I had guys warmed up in the bullpen. Oh, my goodness. 6-6. Oh, man, we had 2 outs in the inning, and the Mets score 5 runs. Oh, my goodness. David Dahl, the hitter right there with the 3-run shot, just, oh, wow. I mean, that, I don't even know what to say. I mean, just crazy, crazy, crazy game, and really stupid decision on my part to not take David Price out. You guys can hate me in the comments all you want. I still left Price in. What am I doing? I don't know, but I finally get the last out of the inning. That guy will fly out to Puig in center field, and that will retire the side. So we're going to head into the top of the 9th with a tie ball game, and this one looks all but headed for extra innings possibly. But we do have to play the 9th inning first, so Phil Koch is going to come in and pitch the bottom of the 9th inning. He will finally get Price off the mound. Now, this is Phil Koch, one of the players we did claim off waivers, his debut as a Miami Marlin, and that's going to be hit into deep left center field by Daniel Murphy. That one is going to get down and one hop over the wall. So it's a leadoff ground rule double for the Mets, and now they are in great position to try and drive that run home and win this ball game. So pinch runner Hernan Perez will come in. He represents the game-winning run, as this is the bottom of the 9th. If he scores, it's going to be a walk-off. Ruben Tejada up 0-2 count to him. Tejada's going to ground this one to the shortstop, so we hold the runner at third, and the throw is offline, but we get him out anyway. So after Perez advanced at third, we hold him right there. With 1 out now, we're going to intentionally walk David Wright, set up the double play, and avoid the best hitter in their lineup. That's going to bring up, I believe, Ike Davis, the man who already homered once today. Let's see what he can do at his next at-bat. We got the favorable lefty-lefty matchup, 1-0 count, and Davis hits it to deep right field. That one is back, and that one is off the top of the wall, and that is going to score the run. So the Mets win. If you guys are wondering why I didn't go after that ball, I knew if I made the catch that the guy was going to tag up anyway. So I decided I was just going to pray that it went foul. I couldn't tell if it was fair or foul at first. I thought it might actually get out of the park. But either way, that one is going to go off the top of the wall. And Ike Davis wins the game for the Mets on the walk-off single. And the Mets take this home 7-6 and a nice come-from-behind victory. But anyway, it's going to wrap this video. So I thank you guys for watching. Hope you did enjoy. I'm out. Peace.